I have online clients that I work with a psychiatrist in New York that has he's a hero. Dr. Jeff Ditzel, shout out to Dr. Jeff in New York. He basically, he's a former combat veteran colonel in the Army who's a practicing psychiatrist in New York City, in the financial district in Wall Street, and basically just helps people walk off the ledge, helps them back off the ledge, every day he's dealing with people that want to kill themselves, and he's very effective at preventing that. And so I work with a lot of his patients to, once they do go through, let's say, for example, a lot of the subjects go through ketamine therapy, where that's the last resort, where, typical pharmaceutical routes don't work and they're resistant to treatment, puts them through ketamine. Ketamine increases neuroplasticity, makes them very, very receptive to new programming.
Okay.
So,
what's your thought on ketamine? I mean, for this, okay, for this, it sounds like it's, a viable option.
Yeah.
What about, I'm seeing it
recreational?
Well, not even recreational. I'm seeing it at IV clinics. They're doing it. What's your thought on that?
Well, dosage is a big thing. I mean, traditionally it was a dissociative anesthetic that was used in the battlefield, actually, for people that were mortally wounded. This is a peaceful way for you to deal with pain and die.
It's a tranquilizer, right?
It's a tranquilizer, yeah.
Because I remember back in college, we'd be cooking it in our kitchen and K-hole. Right. So that's my experiences with it, and that's not a good experience.
I don't think that was in the curriculum at college, exactly. But yeah.
I'll never forget my brother went tubing while on ketamine.
You lose motor skills.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? You could have drowned.
Exactly. That's right. Whatever most technical thing you should be doing has the most dire consequences, let's go for that and do ketamine.
Right, exactly. Not a good combination.
No, but I think ketamine in clinical settings is the literature is really strong on just producing more BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factors. Basically, it's like the metaphor is this: every one of us has movement pattern disorders or movement, patterns that can be dysfunctional. Same thing with our thought processes. So ketamine for me is kind of like fresh powder. You go skiing in Vail and you see all the routes that go down. That's your brain. That's the patterns that you have. But ketamine comes and just dumps like a fresh coat. So now you have to negotiate down the mountain differently. And the process of doing that, of re-engaging with all the pre-existing relationships, forces you to do it more efficiently, differently. So you approach everything that you're connected to in your life differently from that perspective, using that intervention.
So if you have trauma, then it kind of resets everything. So you're not focused on the trauma.
100%.
You're going from a clear.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And with training, that's where I integrate into his practice, is that when people go through that, they realize they can modulate their endocrine system, dopamine and serotonin and everything that your body creates, just by engaging with your environment differently and having a different mindset, incorporating flow. Because if you incorporate flow psychology is this thing where you're like, look, to initiate flow, I need, skills to resistance, right? So I walk into something I know I can do 1,000 times, I'm not going to get into flow. Right. I can do it, it's easy. But I need something that challenges my skills a little bit. If it challenges my skills a little bit, I have to unlock new neurons. I have to unlock new connections. So then I have to get into this thing, what they call the transient hyperfrontality, which means like what X game guys do when they pull off double backflips and stuff. Yeah. It's like, this is the first time he's ever done it. That's the kind of shit that you can get into when you've maximized flow. Is that the direst consequences, the highest risk, how do these people perform? And when you're talking about X Games as an example of flow, you're talking about something that's emerged in 30 years in human evolution. It's the greatest explosion in cognitive power ever. Mm-hmm. When we witnessed it, we see it, and it's like, we just say, well, that's some crazy shit.
We're like, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's a science. Yeah. Flow is a science. And so how I incorporate this kind of technique technically and every day with people is I go through workouts with them, man. It's just online coaching. It's just going, look, I know that you can't do a plank for 3 minutes, but guess what? Today you will. Surprise, surprise. And then what's next? Every day we're moving the goals, we're setting a new target, we're going beyond the threshold of what you perceive you're capable of, and we keep progressing. And then what that does is the exponential effect of that, the Pareto effect, is long-term, everything in your life is enhanced through that process. And then all of a sudden you review everything and go, well, what else am I missing? What else can I do? Right. I mean, like you're killing it. You're doing it.
Well, it's very interesting though that you're using fitness. So it's like this psychiatrist is a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
He's helping like set the brain, set the mental like back. And then you're taking that and then applying what I like to say is you're getting people comfortable getting uncomfortable.
That's it.
But then it's really interesting because I've always been a big believer that fitness is like our anchor. It's like something that if we do daily, it sets us up to be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. Because if we can do that suck or that hard thing first, whether it's the cold plunge or doing a pit class or, doing one of your 3-minute planks or something like that, you're saying to yourself, I can do anything. Mm-hmm. And then you walk away and let's say, someone cuts you off in the street and then you can handle those situations. You have a tough interaction with an employee, you're able to handle these stresses that life brings because you've already put your body through stuff like in an ultimate way. So it's fascinating that you're doing it at such a high level with people that really, really need it. Because I mean, we're doing it too in a similar way, but it's like that's a powerful thing that you're doing.
It would be something that for your business model, I think if maybe you could incorporate with the local kind of the IV clinics that administer ketamine. I mean, these people, once they go through that, not only is chronic pain and suicidality reduced, but their receptivity to change is very high. Their neuroplasticity is very present. So they're perfect candidates for like adjusting their lifestyle at that point.
It sounds like it's like would you say they need to jump into something?
Yes, absolutely.
Because if they don't, then they could possibly fall back, right?
Exactly. So you need to plug something in to occupy that energy because energy doesn't die, it just changes form. Mm-hmm. And if they don't plug it into something new, what do they find? What's familiar. They go back to what's familiar.
We have a member that he's been coming just religiously, every morning, and one day I just pulled him aside. I was like, like what gets you in here, man? And he said he was alcoholic for years and that he has shifted, he's able to beat it. He went to a rehabilitation center for 6 months, was able to beat it, but then he said he knew that he needed something to replace it. Yeah. And that's why fitness has been like kind of his new addiction, which obviously is a better addiction than alcohol, right?
Exactly. So God, fitness is so addictive, isn't it? It's the most rewarding addiction I think anyone can engage in. Besides love, like loving a spouse or having a kid. Exactly.
It's funny. I was just like literally about to say that. So for me, it almost like, does it do this to you though? Like when I'm working out, other than when I'm with my kids and with my family, but when I'm working out, solo or with someone or with a group or just working out in general, in any form, shape or fashion, it's literally that you're the happy is I don't really like the word happy, it's kind of like,
it's transient.
So, it's a little whatever, but euphoric almost. Like you're just feel totally different than when you're not working out.
Right.
It's even hard to explain. It's like, like Arnold the Pump, like that, but Imagine. it's for me, I'm my sharpest when I'm working out. I feel like I'm the most empathetic or if that might not be the right word, but like I feel gentle even when I'm working out. Like I'm able that you could say anything at that moment. Also though, I'm the most like intense.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy that you have all of you're basically, I guess what I'm trying to say, you're at your best.
Yeah.
Like, and especially right around, for me, it's like that 45-minute mark where you're, just in the flow, in the zone. And like, you feel like you can do anything. Yeah. And it's an interesting, I think that's why it is addictive. And I think that's why it can be such an anchor for your life. And really it is medicine. Like it is the greatest medicine that, we're drugging everybody up. We're giving everybody all these things when in actuality, if you could just go for walks, get in the sun, pick up a dumbbell, get into a class, get online training. Like, I mean, there's so much better routes.
I agree, man. There's so much in our life that we can't control. And there's so much suffering that comes from believing that in those things that you can't control and focusing on those things you can't control. And the one thing you can control is the answer that gives you that peace of mind, which is just taking an hour and moving your body and doing your thing for 1 hour. You can control that.
Yep.
But that's the cure to the ailment that is the 95% of my life I can't control and it's being dictated to me. And how many people refuse to do that 1 hour? That would solve that problem. It's the one opportunity you have to take control of your life and your emotions and your feelings, everything.
I call it, and I think I might be stealing this from my pastor, but it's the worry and the waiting. Like what I mean by that is like, if you sit there and worry and just don't get up and move, then you're missing out on what's on the other side of the doing. You know, like it's a decision to move.
Yeah.
Like, and oftentimes we are waiting for this motivation or this, you know, something to pull us into the gym or into the whatever we decide to do to change our lives. But like, sometimes you have to just do it.
Right.
And then once you're there, like I love it when people say like, just show up to the gym.
Yes.
Just show up. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to, just walk in. And then the rest will take care of itself. And it might not be the first day you walk in. You might walk in and walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes and then leave. But if you keep doing it every single day, and especially if you do it in an environment like this, because you're gonna get help, and a lot of places in Miami, there's so many places in Miami that people are there to serve you, to help you, to make you better, to be there for you, to hold you accountable, to be that motivation. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision to show up for yourself. Like it's a decision. And we say here, discipline over motivation. You have to make a choice every single day that you have decided to become better. Every single day, regardless of the circumstances, because you're not gonna feel like it every single day.
Right.
Me and you, we do not wake up. Everybody thinks that me and you wake up like, yeah, you know, like they think we're like superheroes, you know, we're brushing off our abs and we're flexing in the mirror and like, no, like sometimes I wake up and I can barely walk, you know? So I was just seeing my physical therapist today and, you know, I've got tennis elbow and this jam, but
it accumulates.
Yeah, but I'm not going to stop.
Right.
And I know that in that movement, on the other side of that is freedom. And it's freedom for me. I think that people miss out on this. It's this. Like there's so much freedom that comes with what it does to your mental clarification, your mind, your thinking, you're able to handle stress. Like fitness is so much more than the body.
It is.
It's just so much more.
Yeah. Those intangibles that I think are hard for people to understand is the non-participants or the NPCs in the world that don't really, you can't explain it. It's kind of like what my pastor said to me one time. It's like for the non-believers, no explanation will suffice, you know, but for the believers, like there's no explanation needed.
Right.
It's like, you know, because you're involved in the process of it. And that answers all the questions. Like, that's the thing. Questions are good, like post involvement, post exertion, post experience. But too many people are armchair questioners and without the action to see for yourself. You got to see for yourself. And once you see for yourself, then you can figure out the questions along the way. Yeah. But it's like, just throw yourself in there.
And they might be answered by the doing.
Most of the time, aren't they?
Right.
I mean, I believe in my life, that's true. That's the case. That there's a clarity, there's an autotelic, they use this term autotelic, which means it's just kind of like, it feels good knowing that the clarity emerges from the action. Like you don't have to have all the answers, but the clarity is revealed to you through the efforts. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's almost magical.
It is. I always say you don't know what you don't know.
That's
right?
it.
You don't know unless you try.
That's it.
It's like, what's that one quote? You know, it's the decision to try. It's just try it.
Yes.
See what happens.
You know?
When
they told me like, you know, I have crooked teeth and, you know, I've got an extra nipple here like Mark Wahlberg, you know, it's not a nipple, it looks like, but it's a little spot.
Is that an extra nipple?
And my
Are you an alien?
My
Come on,
ex-wife was like, you'll never be a fitness guy. You're not going to be on a magazine cover. And then, you know, we broke up because of that. And then I said, no, I'm going to do it. And then at 35, I landed my first cover. And when I was figuring this whole thing, what you're talking about, how providence, just kind of circumstances, just like change things that you can't even comprehend, just all of a sudden just manifest magically because you've taken that step. And I think that's the beauty in life, when you can become in love with the possibilities of what could happen if you just try, if you just show up, if you just suspend all your disbelief and all the questions and everything, and just show up and give it a good effort, like where that will lead you to.
Effort and hard work. I've never ever met anyone that is committed to effort and hard work that it doesn't work out for them.
That's right.
That does something, a door doesn't open, an opportunity doesn't happen. But I'm telling you, like, there's so many people that are just waiting for, the universe to give them,
Right.
I'm just gonna be, and it's gonna happen.
That's right.
And that's not life.
That's right.
Life is about getting in the game. You have to get in the game. You gotta play.
Yeah.
And then obviously from that, something's gonna happen.
Yes.
So
yeah, and that, I think every individual has a unique kind of special gift to give the world, and the burden of, let's say, being called to produce that gift is in the crosshairs every day of action and non-action. And that eventually when the doors of opportunity close, and then the regret of knowing that you had this gift and then realizing when it's too late, then that becomes what we experience as people that are depressed or live unfulfilled lives or just are lost. There's lost souls out there.
What's that book, Amber, that I told you to read recently? The Art of War. Have you read that one?
Yeah, exactly.
No, not that one. It's similar, but it's
The War of Art. Yeah.
The War of Art.
The War of Art. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the book. I haven't read
You
that
would
one.
love that.
Yeah.
So it's basically how we get stuck in the fear of the what ifs. Like, instead of, like, we have this creative inside it. Let's use singing, for example. Like, singing is, and Amber can relate to this. So, you have this gift of singing, but singing is you're putting yourself out there. Like,
Right.
you talk about a vulnerable thing.
Right.
Like, it is it's tough, right? And
That's
so, but a lot of times people that can sing, they never sing.
Right.
And they only sing, say, in their shower on their own, but they never step out because it's so horrifying. It's so scary. But what if, but what if, you know what I mean?
Right.
What if you could just put down that fear and just show up for yourself and see what happens on the other side of that faith of taking, saying, you know what, who cares? Because, and then that's where the greatness comes from, is like being vulnerable to, maybe it doesn't work out. But at the end of the day, like, who cares if it doesn't work out? Like, that's what I've never understood.
So if you're a guy, let's say you're a surfer, a guy or girl, whatever, and there's a tsunami that's hitting this coast of Florida, right? And you're the only soul that gets out there to ride that sucker, and you don't ride it all the way, you crash and burn. Are you still people are still gonna say, look at this crazy person, this is amazing, this person's doing this. Everybody's gonna remember you for the effort that you put in, even if you crashed and burned.
Yep.
I mean, look at Evel Knievel. The guy wrecked more than he succeeded.
I know, right?
And he's famous for...
Well, almost all, if you really look, like the Michael Jordan, I missed 9,000 shots in my
Babe
career.
Ruth struck out more times than he hit home runs.
It's amazing if you really examine all this just absolute greats, the heroes. They have way more losses than they do wins.
They do.
Way more. But it's because they try constantly.
How do you, as an individual, how can you handle that and know that failure is a part of the process of success versus failure is something that defines you as a person?
Right.
How do you brush that off and be like, I'm still going to have the same optimistic attitude I did yesterday when I failed miserably. I learned from it. I'm going to change. But you know what? I may fail again too today. But at the end of the day, I feel like you're perfecting your craft, and maybe, just maybe, you're failing because you're being called to a very specialized craft.
Right.
Not an everyday craft.
Well, if you're failing at something that's difficult, then that's what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
So if you're failing at something that's easy, then you probably shouldn't even be attempting it anyways. But so, like, most things that you fail at are difficult. Like if the challenge was me and you walking up these stairs, okay, that's, we're gonna do that. But if the challenge is walking up those stairs for 24 hours, okay, now we're talking about something. Like
Right.
it's all in what you're trying to attempt. And I think that many people sell themselves short on what they're capable of. And I see greatness in so many people on the other side of effort. And no one's greatness is ever found on the couch, or no one's greatness is ever found in their procrastination, in their pausing of trying to do something great. So, you know, I wish more people would just take risks, take chances on themselves. Like, give yourself a little bit more credit, because there's just, I meet people every day that are so gifted in their own way, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that the human capacity, kind of like muscle can atrophy, right? Muscle can hypertrophy. If you don't use it, you lose it. Let's say if I hired a personal trainer to do all my exercises for me, would I get the benefit of it? No. So I think there's a lot of people that suffer from this, the idea of other people's ideas, and the capacity for their own imagination to really see themselves and see what they can truly imagine for themselves is atrophied. And the quick fix for that is just find an idea of someone else doing something, because that's someone else has done it, I can do it too.
Right.
Where the real hard path is to go, no, I know myself well enough. I'm going to look myself into what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And yeah, the vision may change along the way, because your life changes, your capacity to do things changes. Like I used to be able to, walking lunge 225 and squat 405. I would never do that now. It's a bad idea for me.
Right.
I've had to adjust my life based on my evaluation of my capacity to do things in the stages. And some people don't age gracefully for that. Some people like to push really hard when, look, I'm an advocate for that blue zone mentality of like, look, lifestyle plays a factor, and I don't want to pull mitochondria out of my brain and my heart just so that I can be a big, jack, strong guy. There's no longevity there.
My physical therapist today, we were literally talking exactly like this. So because to your point, I'm 46. In my 20s, I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Crazy.
I was 240 pounds and just massive and lifting crazy and running and hitting. And, I played college football. So just tons of crazy stuff. And then you still feel 25, like you feel 25 on the inside, your heart, your head, but your body is not the same. It's just not the same. So I've noticed now that I am making wiser decisions in the gym. And I told him that the main reason I show up every single day for myself in the gym is for my brain. It's for my creative. It's for my stress. It's not for the strength and the six pack.
It's a byproduct.
Like that's just secondary. And I feel like I still look good and I can maintain that, but I don't have to. The ego is not there, is what I'm trying to say. Like ego lifting, ego running, all that stuff, it's gone. Like, and I've felt it come back. You'll see like one of your 26-year-old trainers, and you're like watching them, do something. You're like, maybe I should go over there and show them what's up. And then I quickly say to myself, don't do it. Yeah. But back in the day, not even probably 3 years ago, I was the guy that,
Same here.
Yeah, I would watch somebody do like, set a bench, and I'd be like, can I work in with you? And then do like,
let's go together. Let's
double reps they did, just to be basically a jackass, really, like if you really think about it. But yeah, they're definitely not lifting like that anymore. Also recognizing that I have a 4-year-old. You have 5 kids. So I have a 4-year-old, I have a baby on the way. I want to be able to run around with them, and be mobile and not be in pain, and be joyful around them too. Like be enthusiastic when they want to be outside all day long, playing in the dirt and the rocks.
Wearing themselves out. And wearing themselves out.
Like we want to be present.
That's right.
That's so important. And if you're hurting yourself every day in the gym, you're not going to be very nice and to your kids.
No, you'll
or to
turn
your wife.
into a digital babysitter real quick. You'll hand them an iPad and then you'll ruin their brain, and that's it.
And there's no way I'm going down that path.
Me either.
No way.
So that's the thing, is like anybody who's gone through like trauma, or you're out there and you believe that there's, debilitating factors that have been written in stone into your life, and you think that these things are prohibitive in terms of your personal growth or achieving what you want. But then when you flip it and understand that actually, let's say those things trigger anger, they trigger resentment, those things that are embedded in you, you feel like you can't control your temper, you can't control this aspect of your life when you're triggered and you're out of control. If you learn how to surf the tsunami, right? If you make sure that the tool that you have is set up so when that does arise, you can actually tap into that reservoir and then have an activity to direct it to, like working out. All of a sudden, a year ago, I didn't have any time to work out. I didn't have any motivation to work out. Now I've got all the fucking motivation in the world because every one of us have trauma. Every one of us have issues. Every one of us has abandonment problems. Every one of us has insecurities. Every one of us has all of it.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that do their very best in the gym to cover it up. And a lot of those people I know have had some hard shit in their life, and I'm not going to judge them for that. They're coming out shining like a diamond.
Right.
Like, I'm happy for them because doing the work and going through the process, that's where you earn the respect. And if you don't do it that way and you're sitting back and thinking that your circumstances define you, then that's a victim mentality.
Yep.
And they don't. You have every ability, especially with coaches and great entrepreneurs like yourself, building communities where you have plenty of people that can support you along the way. And that's the thing with me, man. I just want people to just try and see, imagine a future for themselves, let the light into their life, have a vision for themselves maybe they didn't have. Be surrounded by people with vision. Vision is contagious too. All these factors, you are a product of your environment. You're not a product of your genes. You're not a product of your circumstances. You're a product of your environment and how you engage with your environment. That's epigenetics 101. That's mitochondrial health 101. The energy in your environment will upregulate the stimulus through epigenetics into the signals of your DNA, and you'll become a more productive, happy person. And those things are not talked about enough. Those you can extract and parse out so much valuable information. It's almost like you can create an atom bomb splitting an atom. And people need pre-workout and coffee before they go to work or the gym.
Right.
It's like, no, you're made of atoms, trillions of atoms. And like, there's infinite energy in an atom. How do you unlock that? Right there.
Yep.
So, brother.
Mic drop on that last one. It was amazing.